and welcome to dinner. What's cooking? Well, tonight we are going to make some good old delicious white chicken chili in our, what I call, the big boy, the Instapot. This is the Viva 8-quart. Yes, he's my big boy. I have big boy, little mama, and baby. My little mama is the 6-quart Dual Nova, and then my baby is the 3-quart Duo. So we've got them all going on right here, but today we're going to use the big boy because he's just my big boy. I love my big boy. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. I may have to pause because I've got my oven heating up for some bread. We're making some homemade bread as well. But when you get started, you want to go ahead and push the saute button because we're going to brown our chicken for a little bit. And then what I do now, I know that everybody can't use peanut oil because of allergens or whatever. So if you're cooking for a group of people and you're going to use peanut oil, make sure that you do let people know that their peanut oil is in here. But I use peanut oil because it is very heat, it can take the heat, and it does well with heat. I can't think of what you call it, but it does well with heat. And so it gives that added crisp and that added moisture. Anytime I cook chicken or hamburger patties on the grill, in the foodie, or on the stove, I always marinate it in peanut oil because it just, man, it does wonders. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got a whole onion that I chopped up that we're gonna just put right in here. And let that baby go right there. And for this recipe, you're going to need chicken. I did for the sake of time, I just kind of, for the sake of time, I already cut it, but this is just 3 chicken breasts. And what I do is I get that big bag at Sam's that's like, I think it's like 20 bucks, but you get like 15 or 20 pounds of chicken breast in it. And I try not to touch the chicken with my hands when I'm cooking because, you know, chicken can, you know, spoil easily, and it just holds salmonella. And I've already pre-seasoned my chicken. Now what I've done already, I've added my salt, I've added garlic powder, and I've added comino and pepper. So I've already salted that. For the sake of time, I've already did that, and I'm just kind of going to let this little saute here. And I'm also going to add some of this, not the whole packet this time, but some of this right here. And while this is cooking, I've already done it just because you know, we're on a video and I'm trying to save time, but I've got this going right here. And so what I do while this is sauteing, I go ahead and open up, excuse me, my can of beans. And usually I put 2 cans of beans, but I only had 1. I put my 2 cans of beans in my corn, and I just stick it aside because I'm going to put that in last, at the very, very last. And this is what I've used right here. I've used my chicken, my rotel, the original, if you like spicy, do spicy, and then just corn. You know, I use a lot of generic because we're a family of 4 on a 1-income budget, so we try to keep it down as I can. And what I do with the rotel is I stick it in my immersion cup because we don't like the whole tomatoes. Now, if you like the whole tomatoes like that, you can put them in there just as is. But none of us in the family really like that rotel. I mean, those whole tomato stuff. So what I do is I just stick it in the immersion blender, stick it in this. I don't know if you can see it, and then just with my immersion, just it's all nice and gone. And then I'm going to pour that in here and then just let that simmer just a little bit like that. And because it's in the Instapot, of course, if you are an Instapot user, you know that you need a lot of water. Not a lot, I'm sorry. You need water to get it to pressurize. And even though I put this tomato sauce in there, it's not thick enough. But because it is chili, I'm going to add water anyway. I'm going to turn off my saute because I don't need it anymore. It's already browned the chicken, and we're doing real good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put about 3 cups of water in there, and scrape up the stuff that's on the bottom. For one, that's the best stuff. And then 2, if you don't scrape it up, you'll get the burn notice on your, when you're trying to cook it, you'll get the burn notice. And so you want to make sure that you got all of that stuff off the bottom, because these babies are sensitive. And then you just want to leave that like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lid on it. You're going to hear a beeper go off in a minute. Now, if you're new to Instapot or not, you know, you don't have to pay attention to this part, you already know. But if you're new to Instapot, you want to make sure, it's very vital to have this on. And you want to make sure that it's on nice and tight. And you just get it in there and you just stick it in there. It usually never gives me a problem, but today, let's do that. Let's give me a problem. Okay, so I don't think I have the 6. Hold on, maybe I've got the wrong seal in here. No, I can't have the wrong seal in here because I pulled out the biggest one. All right, there we go. So you want to make sure that you press it down and that you've got it nice and snugged in there, that it's nice and tight in there. And you just, and the more you use the seals, the easier they are to, my big boy's only used on special occasions, so he doesn't get used as much as the little mama does. Little mama gets used almost every day. But today we're going to use the big boy and the baby, because I'll cook my rice in the baby one. Okay, so looks like we're all good to go, that we're all sealed in. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and stick this on. I'm going to cancel that and stir it in because it was hot. And we're going to do that right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and set this for about 20 minutes. I'm going to do my pressure cook, and I can't turn it around the other way, but I'm going to do the pressure cook, and then I'm going to set it for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to let it cook. And then when the 20 minutes is done, I'll let it release naturally, maybe, depending on what I feel like. Hold on, let me turn off that timer. That's for my bread. It's telling me it's time to put the loaf in there, but we'll wait on that. All right, so, and then when I get done with the 20 minutes, I will probably do a quick release with the pressure, and then I will add my bowl. And I like to just pour them in a bowl because I'll season these too. I like to just pour them in a bowl and set them aside, because that way it's just quick and easy for me to dump them in there. And then I'll set the timer for probably 2 minutes, and then when it's done in 2 minutes, you gotta always make sure that you set, when you're doing your pressure cooker, make sure that you put it to sealing and not venting. Because if you leave it on venting, then it won't be able to seal. But you wanna make sure that you have it on venting, so that way it can get a nice seal. And this little thing's gonna, when that thing rises up, it'll show you that it's sealed. But anyways, I like to pull these, you know, in a bowl, and I'll season them and set them aside. And then when I put them in there, I'll put the rest of my seasoning in there, and I will probably cook those for about 2 minutes. And then I will let it just, it'll go off at 2 minutes, and then I will just let it sit as it is, because I keep it on the keep warm button, and I'll let it self vent on its own, making the food just even greater. And so probably say about 25, less than 30 minutes for sure, you can have white chicken chili. Okay, so we've let it cook for 20 minutes and now let's look into some deliciousness and finish this recipe. And then when I get done with this, I'm gonna start the rice and show you how that goes, and that's what's cooking tonight. So I've already depressurized it. I didn't want to do that on film because one, there's no need to, but oh, hold that thought. 1 second, I gotta take the lid off of my bread real quick. I thought I had a little bit more time. Woo. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right, sorry about that. But anyways, oh, that loaf is so beautiful. So, okay, let's go ahead and open this up. It's already depressurized. So main thing, if you're new to the Instapot, don't force it open. You can see how much steam is coming out. Don't force it open. Whatever you do, I don't want to get the phone all, there you go. Because you can result in burning yourself very, very badly. So don't be afraid of it. There's nothing to be afraid of, but you do want to make sure that you depressurize it, and then when it's all done, there you go. You just take the lid off like that. Easy peasy. And let's move this back. Oh, look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautifulness right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to take me some, I've already seasoned them. You can tell they're already seasoned. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour that right in there like that. Stir that up a little bit. And because my chicken was thawed and cut in cubes, I actually could have cooked it for 7 minutes if I was in a hurry. Because they were thawed and they were cut into small chunks, I could have cooked it in 7 to 8 minutes, maybe 5 at the top. So I don't think I would have cooked it at 5, but if I was pressed for time, I could have even cooked it in that amount of time instead of the 20 minutes. But I wanted to go to 20 minutes just to give the flavors time to marry because I'm not in a hurry. So it looks good. I don't really need to add cornstarch to it to do a thickener, to make it thicker. But I am going to add some chicken broth to it now, just a little bit. And it doesn't need the chicken broth. It's just that if I don't use it now, it'll go to waste, and I prefer it not to go to waste. So that's the only reason why I'm using it. You can use it with or without, but it does really add flavor to it. So with that being said, we've got that in there. Looks like we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this. I could have did that in my rice if I was thinking right. All right, so let me go ahead and if it doesn't close right away, it's because it's still kind of hot and it's got a little bit of pressure in there. So you just kind of wait till it closes. Make sure it's back on sealing. And I'm going to go ahead and let it pressurize again. I'm going to pressure cook it again, but I'm only going to pressure it for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. And then I'm going to let it sit there, and I'm going to go 4 minutes. And then I'm not going to do anything. When it goes off, it goes off. It'll just sit until we have dinner, and it'll just sit in there and marinate till we have dinner. And there you go. So in 25 minutes or less, you can have white chicken chili. And when I made this in my slow cooker, I would start it in the morning before I went to work. I was a school teacher, so I would get it going, and then after school I'd come and it'd be, get it ready for dinner. But it had to cook all day in the slow cooker, and then with the Instapot now, it's just like no time. All right, so now let's go ahead and look at our rice right here. And if I was thinking, I would have saved that rice I would have saved that chicken broth for my rice, but I wasn't really thinking. So, all right, I've washed my rice, and I've got a cup of rice in here, just a cup. If you need more than that, you can put more than that. The main thing about your rice is, when I make it on the stovetop, I'm precise. My family loves my rice, And so I was kind of leery about making it in the Instapot because I had a foolproof method of doing it. But now we love it in the Instapot. So I don't have to be, I don't have to worry about it too much. But what I do with the Instapot here is I just set it as, I'll put a cup and then I'll take 2 cups of water, usually chicken broth, but I wasn't thinking. I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 cups of water, or maybe not 2 cups of water, just enough because I wanna make sure that all the rice is covered. And it may not take 2 cups. It just depends on how much you're cooking. Sometimes I cook 1 to 2 cups. I cook over one. I'll cook a 1.5 to 2 cups, and so it usually takes about 2 cups of water. And then I put some butter in it. Oh shucks, I forgot to add this. Hold on, let me go back. I forgot to add my chicken seasoning over here. So because it's not pressurized yet, I can open it. If it was pressurized, it would not have let me open it. It would have been locked and I would have had to depressurize it. But since it's not, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of this in there. I forgot to do that. So, all right. Now I'm gonna stir that up. Look at this deliciousness right there. Don't that just look so good? Kind of looks like menudo in a way. No, it doesn't look like menudo, but it looks good. Maybe I'm just hungry for menudo. All right, so let me go ahead and close this up again. There we go. So now we're gonna back. I don't have to do anything because I had already set, but since it hadn't pressurized, it's good to go. I could open it. All right, so now back to this. I've got my rice in here. All right, so there we go. So we got the rice there. And let me get me some butter. Do I hear that southern drawl? I am a Texas baby that has relocated to the South and Mississippi, and I've been here for double-digit years. And man, I guess I'm getting that southern twang. All right, so I put just a little bit of butter. I don't ever measure. I just cut whatever I feel like cutting. I just put a little bit of butter in there and some seasonings. This is just a little. I usually do Crazy Jane's, but for some reason we don't have it here anymore. I can't. It's hard for me to find the Crazy Jane's. So I'm just using that one for right now. And then I do my pepper and then a little bit of salt. And, really for if I was thinking I would have put my, dang it. Well, thank goodness it's rice. Did y'all see that pop open? It happens, right? That's happened so many times to my daughter. All right, so I'll just put a little bit more water. And guess what? It's only going to take 7 minutes to do this. So if that rice, no, not salty at all. So if the rice was salty, or I didn't, wanted to take a chance, it only takes 7 minutes to make. That's right, 7 minutes in the Instapot, 7 minutes. All right, so now that I've got that seasoned, I'm going to take my lid right here. I'm going to turn it on pressure cook. And remember, you want to put your seal, you want to make sure your seal is nice and tight. You want to make sure that you get it on here and turn it right there. Make sure that it's on sealing because I don't want it to vent because I do need it to pressurize. And I'm going to put this on 7 minutes. Yes, you heard me correct, 7 minutes. Now, it does have a rice button on there. But every time I use that rice button, it's a 12-minute button. And every time I use the rice button, my rice burns at the bottom. But when I use the 7 minutes, it's a little sticky. It's like a little sticky rice, but the family loves it. If you don't like it that sticky, you could use a little bit less water. Just make sure that all the rice is covered because you have to make sure that every grain of rice is underwater or else you are going to have some hard rice there. But that's it. So we're having white chicken chili tonight with rice and homemade Italian bread. And that's what's cooking for dinner tonight. I hope you enjoy your meal and thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, so we are done. I've let it naturally vent on its own. So let's take a look. Because I've let it naturally vent, I can just open it up right there, and let's take a look at this rice. Oh, look how beautiful that is. 7 minutes, and plus I let it sit, and there you go. Look at that. Beautiful rice right there. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the big boy. Let's see what this, I also let this one naturally vent, and because dinner's about to be served, so I let it naturally vent. And let's take a look at this. Looky here, looky there. Isn't that just looks delicious? Oh my gosh, it smells so delicious too. And this is our white chicken chili right here. Normally you're supposed to use white beans, but we're not a big fan of the white beans, and so I just use the red kidney beans. And there you go. That's what